with by thanking the board for addressing this issue and at least having something for us, for those that were concerned about the lottery system. But I want to say, Mr. Montempo, Dr. Montempo, you're missing the mark. You missed the part when I was here when I said if you told me my daughter was going to be 22 out of 20 because there was 20 better qualified people for that job, I could accept that. I will not accept that she didn't make it into a program because she didn't get her name picked out of the hat. When they leave this place, the very thing you're preparing them for, they're going to go to a job. They're going to have to interview. They're going to have to show what they've done. They might have to show their grades. These are all things that are going to happen to them because we're in a meritocracy. No matter what we want to say, this equity over merit, that's what this is. Let's be clear. But that's what's happening. And basically what you've done is from a position of authority, you're shucking all responsibility. And I say that because I heard you keep saying we. I did some research. I went through the last year of school board minutes. I could find nothing where this was brought up to the board here. I've reached out to the best I could to all of the other school boards and superintendents through the channels I have. I'm just one guy. I can't find any evidence that you had their input. You tout on your website that 500 plus businesses are partners with you. I don't know that you reached out to any of them and asked. And I find it very convenient that after I stood up here last week and said, if you wanted to fix this problem, I would get every business in 2 counties to support a school levy, that tonight you decide that we're going to talk to the finance committee and look into that. If it wasn't because you received the letter, my question would be, and I know you're not going to answer it, what was the objective evidence that caused you to go from a program that, based on your own praise, was clearly working just fine? And based on my math, 22%, a little over 22% of your classes still had to utilize that interview process to pick kids based on attendance, which you score very heavily here at Auburn as part of their employability. So why would you not look at a kid for 2 years on whether or not they showed up for school to a place where that's a big part of employment? How do I know that? Because I can't find guys to show up for work now. Okay? And you grade it and you know that. And you're right, this is a wonderful place. And you guys are doing great things. And unfortunately, the way you're handling the influx is poor. You should have reached out to the districts that feed kids into this school. You should have reached out to the businesses that support this school that are looking for employable people to do excellent work so we can pay them more money. The best of my knowledge, and I would love to be corrected because I couldn't find anybody, I would love to see where, because you told me you worked on this for 18 months. The people I contacted when I complained here didn't seem to know what was going on. Other school boards didn't know what was going on. Businesses that I work with didn't know what was going on. So when you're saying we, who was the we? It was nobody affected by the decision, which quite frankly is, the same revised codes that you referenced here I looked up. And in the admission criteria, it says you had the responsibility to notify this board and all the other boards and superintendents of the admission decision. It's in there. So what was the catalyst that we woke up one day and we decided what we're doing at this school that's producing excellent students and excellent employable people, what was the trigger that made you say, it's not fair, we need to go to a lottery? But don't misconstrue what I'm saying. You're making it that people here that showed up tonight are upset because their kids didn't get in. They're not upset because their kids didn't get in. These are concerned parents who work with their kids, who my wife has been working with my daughter, because just a year ago, my son, who's now in your National Honor Society, worked on his interview. We worked on it with her so she could do a good job and get a chance to get a spot. And if she did all those things and didn't get a spot, that is the real world. And you are deceiving yourself if you think that this is more fair than what you were doing. Listen to yourself speak. All those things you said, those are all true and they're all wonderful. and this is a resource for these communities. 10 different school districts. You are a giant, wonderful resource. You should have, whatever it was, doesn't have to be the letter, but whatever the trigger was, you should have gone to this board, you should have gone to the districts. You could have reached out to those 500 businesses and said, hey, we need more money. We need 40 seats, not 20 seats. Okay? None of that was done. So I implore you, because it's clearly been thought of, get rid of this lottery now, right now. This year, go back to your process that has been working and tried and true, to your own words. Spend the next year working with the boards and the school districts and the businesses to come up with maybe a middle ground, something you can do to keep it fair. I read the 1979 Civil Rights Vocational Act. In that letter, the Hardy letter that didn't have anything to do with this, they left out the part, if those things discriminate for race and region and on and on and on. If that is the part that's unfair, that gives you an out. Maybe not the ORC, but that gives you an out. If you can prove that they're necessary to get into this school, then it's okay. Okay? That's all.